back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Amanda Ray, and whenever I was 17, almost 18 years old, I left the cult that I was born in. If you are interested in hearing more about that, I will leave those videos in my description box down below. But today, I forgot everything I was going to play. I'm conditioning my hair, so don't judge. Today I am going to be doing another part of my Halloween series where I talk about creepy stories from my cult or just creepy stories in general. My last video, if you watched it last week, I recreated a Maleficent look. But yeah, so last week I did Maleficent look and I talked about how basically the first time I encountered a ghost or a spirit, and it's the reason why I believe in spirits and ghosts to this day. And in my last video I asked you guys if you wanted to hear about this seance that happened with Colleen, and I read your comments and it sounds like you guys do want to hear that one. I actually didn't think that I was going to be doing stories like that because that happened after I had left the cult, and like so far all of these stories that I've been telling are like when I was in the cult or like things that happened before I was born in the cult, right? So this will be the first story that I tell that was an experience, like a creepy experience that happened to me after I left the cult. I'm gonna get my contacts in and then we will start the story. Okay, that was really hard to do, but I'm trying to decide which color I should do. I guess I can just go with the blue because this character does have blue eyes, and this one's starting to really hurt. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was like way harder than it had to be, I feel like. Oh, they hurt. The things I do for... What am I doing this for? I think I just had some skincare on my hands and then I touched my eyeballs. Don't do that. Okay, I'm back. This stuff gets so messy. Oh, do you remember in my last video how I got like super spooked? It was just the wind blowing the door. At least that's what I'm telling myself. Where do I start with this story? So if you guys remember Colleen, she's been on my channel before. Colleen and I are cousins and we both left the same cult. Colleen and I went to this baby shower. She brought her friend with her, and her friend was like, I don't want to say a witch, but kind of like a witch. Like she was really into like the supernatural, like the spiritual side of things, and Colleen is kind of like dabble. I feel like Colleen is another one of those people that like they really can like feel energies more than the average person, or they can like see spirits more than the average person. She's just like more in tune. So I've always felt like Colleen had more of a like gift. So we go to this baby shower and Colleen introduces me to her friend who is like kind of like witchy, right? Is that offensive? Anyways, Colleen introduces me to her friend, and like at the time Colleen was living in Vegas, so she was only in town for a little bit, and she was staying at this hotel in Salt Lake with her friend. And so we're all talking at the baby shower, and we all decide that we should all go hang out at the hotel while Colleen's in town because she's going to go back to Vegas. I was also really fascinated that this woman was like into, like when Colleen introduces me to this woman at the baby shower, she says that like she's really into like, you know, crystal work and spiritual stuff. And so I was like recently learning about like Reiki. I don't know if you guys have heard about Reiki, but it's like, it's kind of like where you get, you know, the 7 chakras and the 7 different colors. Like you get a Reiki session is like they don't touch your body, but they like, it's like energy work. That's like the best way to describe it. But I was like just getting into Reiki and like learning about it, and I was like really fascinated about it. And so I started talking to Colleen's friend, like, oh, do you know how to do Reiki, da da da, and she was like, yeah. So anyways, I decide to go meet up with them at the hotel thinking that we were going to do a Reiki session, okay? Like I totally thought that it was just going to be like some energy work, spiritual stuff. Maybe I wasn't listening to the conversation at the baby shower, and maybe they like told me and I just didn't hear or didn't want to hear. But so I'm driving over to the hotel that Colleen and her friend are staying at, and it's really late because I had a lot of stuff that I had to get done that day. Yeah, I think when I arrived there, it was like midnight or like 1 in the morning. It was like super late. So I get there and I go all the way up to the 7th floor, which is where Colleen and her friend are, and I knock on the door and they open it, and the room is like dark and there's candles and crystals And it looks like you're going to be doing a Reiki session, but then I come in and Colleen's like, welcome. Her friend's sitting on the floor next to these 3 flashlights, and they explained to me that they're going to try to contact the dead. And I was like, what? I had never done anything like that before, ever. And after this experience, I don't know if I would do it again. But, I sit down, and we're sitting in like a circle on the ground by the 2 beds, and there's the flashlights in the middle of us. There's 3 flashlights, and I was like, so what are these flashlights for? And they explained to me that this is how they're going to communicate to the dead. They did like this prayer type thing and like blessed the room or whatever. And then I don't remember if we held hands or not. So Colleen's friend like tells the spirits, okay, if any spirits are here, we welcome you. Oh, I'm getting creeped. Anyways, her friend's like, if there's any spirits here, let yourself be known. This is how we will be communicating with you. When we ask you a question, we will ask you yes or no questions. Flicker the green flashlight for yes, red flashlight for no, and yellow flashlight for maybe. And I remember thinking like, ugh, this is not gonna work. Like, how can a spirit flicker a flashlight, you know? I was open to the idea. Anyway, so we get on the floor and we start the seance. No lie. When Colleen's friend started asking questions, the flashlights would flicker. She would say, are you male? And then the green flashlight flickered. And I was like, what? Like, maybe it's just the green flashlight's broken. Like, she was like, are you male? Green flashlight flickered. So that means yes. Did you die in your 20s? Green flashlight flickered. Said yes. Were you born in Salt Lake? Green flashlight flickered. Said yes. So I assumed, okay, maybe the green flashlight is just broken, and because it's just flickering every single time. So I was like, you guys, like, it's just it's like a green flashlight, like, it's obvious. And so they're like, okay, we'll ask a question that's an obvious no. So she asked, are you female? Since we already asked it was male and it said yes, so we asked, are you female? And after we asked, are you female, the red flashlight flickered, meaning no. I was like, that's when I started to get like freaked a little bit. But then I was like, you know, Colleen's friend, you know, could be just like messing with us. These could be like battery. I feel like my mind just didn't want to believe what was happening, so it just wouldn't. So yeah, I kind of was like, okay, maybe she has some like battery powered thing in her pocket that she's using, right? And I went along with it. We kept asking the questions, and we had like a recording device. There's a lot that I could tell you about this story, but I'm just going to tell you like the main points that happened. So as we're going on and asking the spirit questions, all of a sudden, the fire alarm goes off. Like all of the lights, you know, the like flickering lights, and then it was like this like loud fire alarm. And remember, it's like 2 a.m. now. So we're like, what? We get up and we evacuate the building, right? Because it's the fire alarm. And we see everyone else on the floor evacuating. Everyone's like in their pajamas, like, what is going on? So we all go outside, get out to the like street, and I look up to the building, and it's only the 7th floor, which is the floor that we were on. Only the 7th floor has like the lights flickering and the fire alarm going off. So I was like, this is so weird. Maybe it's just random, maybe it's a coincidence, you know, maybe some little kid pulled the fire alarm. Again, my mind just like trying to be like, it's okay, like nothing weird is happening. Anyway, so we get back up into the room, they fix the fire alarm, and then everything goes back to normal. We're a little spooked, but we sit back down, and I don't know why we continued, but we did. We continued. We start asking more questions. I think Colleen just really wanted to like figure out how this spirit died. So she was like asking really detailed questions, but it's like you can only get yes or no answers. So like you'd have to ask like very specific things. You couldn't be like, how did you die? You'd have to be like, did you get in a car accident? And then that's what she would do. Like, did you get in a car accident? Then the red flashlight would flicker. No. Did somebody else have something to do with your death? Anyway, we never figured out exactly how this spirit had died, but later we did find out that hotel was like haunted, because I was reading online and I found, I don't know how true this is, but something weird happened. I don't want to say this if it's not true, but basically people died in that hotel, were killed, were murdered in that hotel. And Colleen had no idea. She was just staying there in town while she was going to the baby shower, right? And we didn't do research on this hotel till after this experience. So we continue the seance. We're asking the spirit like a lot of deep questions about how he died. And then again, the fire alarm goes off. Okay, now we're really freaked, because if the fire alarm going off one time, it could have been a coincidence. 2 times? So we leave the building again, we evacuate. Everyone else in their pajamas evacuates too. And we all go down to the street, same thing. We look up, it's only the 7th floor. No other floors have the fire alarms going off. It's just the floor that we are staying in. You guys, the fire alarm goes off 7 times total. 7 times. One of these times, I don't remember which, like if it was the 5th or 6th or what time it was, I went to the front desk after the fire alarm went off, and I asked the lady, I was like, how often does this happen? Like, is there something wrong with your guys' fire alarm system? Like, does this happen a lot? Like, why is it still happening? Do you guys, what's going on? What's going on? Has this ever happened before? And the lady was like, I have worked here at this hotel for 10 years and never have I seen something like this happen. And I was like, what? Anyways, after I had heard that, I went back up to the room with them and I was like, okay, you guys, I don't really want to do the seance anymore. I'm freaked out. I think I'm going to go home. And they were like, oh, I thought you were going to sleep over. And I was like, no, I don't want to. So I hugged Colleen goodbye, tell her friend it was nice to meet her. And I leave to go home. As I'm driving home, this is going to sound so crazy. You guys can't think I'm crazy, okay? But as I was driving home on the freeway, I felt a strong male presence in the back seat of my car. Like, I could feel exactly where he was sitting. You know that feeling like when you get in your car late at night and you like hurry and check the back because you feel like someone's watching you and then there's nothing? I felt the presence of a person in my back seat of my car the entire ride. And I felt like I knew exactly where it was sitting. I have never felt that before, by the way. Like, I've never dabbled in that type of stuff. So I was just like freaked out. Like, am I crazy? Should I trust my intuition? And this is actually the spirit that we're talking to, or am I making it all up in my head? So the whole drive, I just kept feeling like it was like sitting there watching me. And it wasn't sitting in the passenger seat, it was sitting in the, so I was right here and he was not behind me, not in the middle seat, but that seat, you know, on the right, the window seat. And I was just like so creeped out, because like by this time it's like 3 a.m. and I'm getting home. I get out of my car and I'm in an apartment complex. I get out of my car and I start walking towards my apartment, and I can feel the spirit behind me, or whatever it is, spirit, demon, whatever. I don't even know to this day, you guys. I can feel it following me. Again, just kept thinking that I was like crazy and like there's no way that there's a spirit. This is such a creepy story, you guys. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy. I think I'm crazy too. I get up to my apartment and I'm freaked out because I don't want the spirit to come in my house. If it even is a spirit, or if it's not, I just want to like let it know that it can't come in if it's bad. Like I didn't know how to like respond, so I was like, I like whispered, if you're a good spirit, you're allowed to come in my house, but if you're not, you have to stay out. I just felt like maybe that would help me sleep at night, you know? So I go in to my room and I lay next to, I don't know if I should say who it is because I don't know if they want to be like a part of this story or not, but I lay next to them and I am just looking up at the ceiling and I can feel that like male spirit in the room, and I could feel that it's in the corner of the room. And I'm just laying there and I can't sleep, and the person next to me is sleeping, like dead asleep. Didn't even realize that I had walked in. And I'm just sitting there in silence, feeling super like watched by this presence. All of a sudden, the person next to me sits up, wakes up, and looks at me and says, "What did you do? What did you bring into this home?" And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" Because that person had no idea, like, just like I had no idea it was going to be a seance. I thought it was a Reiki session. No one had any idea that I was doing a seance, okay? So there's no way that they could have known that I brought some spirit back home. They're like, "What did you bring in this home?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And they're like, I feel a male presence in the corner of this room, and he does not like me. What did you do?" I was so freaked out, you guys. But I was also like relieved that I wasn't crazy. I remember thinking, oh, so I'm not crazy. Like, you feel it too. It's not just me. Anyway, super spooked, and I'm like, okay, so I like explain everything, and they're like, well, you definitely brought a spirit back with you, demon, whatever, and it's a negative one, and it does not like me, so can you please get rid of it? And I was like, I remember being like, how do I get rid of an entity or a spirit or a demon? Like, what, like, I opened the window and I was like, how, you guys, someone tell me how you get rid of a spirit, okay? Anyways, I was like, I opened the window because I felt like I needed an exit for the spirit or the being or whatever. Should we call it a name? Like, Billy? Hey, Billy. Hey, Billy. Anyways, I opened the window and I was like, I basically like commanded it to leave, if that makes sense. And I felt that it left after I like closed the window. Hang on, let me go put my lashes on really quick and then I'll tell you the rest of the story. These are really big lashes. Can you imagine being in a coffee shop and seeing them? I feel like I'm gonna fly away with them. After that, I never felt the spirit in my room again, but there was times where I like would randomly be like running out to my car to go to work, and I would feel the spirit like lurking around the parking lot. And it was like that for like a year until I moved. I still feel like, was I crazy? But like the fact that other people also felt it and also like validated it. Do you guys think I'm crazy? I loved reading through your guys' comments about like your creepy things that happened to you. So feel free. Leave all your like creepy stories in the comments down below. 'Tis the season. Let me get my outfit together before I continue. I don't know if I like this wig. Wait, I gotta put the gloves on. I wish this costume came with like a fake cigarette because I know she smokes those long. My favorite movie as a child was 101 Dalmatians, and I still want a Dalmatian just because of it. I don't like the wig, but I do like these. Oh, maybe I can. It's just an incense, okay? Yeah, I wish I had a better wig, but I think it's okay. So that is my creepy story about creepy times. I think I'm gonna leave a link to the hotel in my description box down below so you guys can like see which one we actually stayed at and how it actually is haunted. There actually was some weird stuff that happened there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you have a spooky October, and I will see you next week.